The mics are hot. Good evening, everyone, and thank you for watching Barre Beat Podcast live here, Main Street, Barre, Vermont, filmed from the Inside Scoop Studios. With us tonight, we have the gem of Barre City, the one, the only Giuliano Cecchinelli. How are you doing, sir?
I am well. Yourself?
I can't complain too much. You're here in the Barre Beat. You're in the 802 Scoop Inside Scoop Studio. We haven't had you here for how many years? It's been 3 years. Yeah.
No, I think it's longer than that.
No, well, a little over 3 years, because that's right. Because you ran last year. It's been 4, right? No, it's been 3 years. Because you.
No, it's been much longer. It was John Lyons, when John Lyons ran.
That was 3 years ago.
Was it 3 years ago?
Right, because that was the same time that Terry and Nancy were up, right? And Sonia, are you sure?
Yeah, because I would be up for.
But you were filling a spot, remember? You were filling a 2-year stint.
Oh, it just runs into. It's just this long, continuous arc of being nominated and running, and yeah, I'll trust you.
You trust me? Yeah.
I'll trust you.
I think I'm right about that. I think it's been about 3 years. I might be wrong, but I think it's been about 3 years. It's been too long. That's how long it's been. It's
Okay,
been
I'll accept that.
way too long. How are you doing, sir?
Good.
Doing good?
Yeah.
Staying out of trouble?
Trouble finds me. I do the best I can.
Yeah. It finds me as well, so I completely understand. So I wanted to have Giuliano come in tonight and tell us about the exciting program that he's running at Central Vermont. So Giuliano is doing design and fabrication or stone trades for Central Vermont Career Center, and I wanted him to come in and just talk about that because it's an awesome opportunity for students that really want to get their hands on the stones, right, and get work done. And part of, there's a huge push in our society for career trades, and there's a huge lack of people going into this industry. Am I correct on that?
Yes. So there's a concentration of stone carving, but there's a lot more to it. There's the advanced manufacturing side. So we also go into 3D printing and scanning, CNC operations. So there's a lot of technical things that also go into the granite industry. Stone carving is just a small portion of that, which I teach. Right.
So we do have a nice slideshow for you guys, and Giuliano's going to walk us through this, and hopefully, if you're watching and if you have kids that are interested in this, you reach out to the Career Center for this great opportunity. So we'll just put up there the Design and Fabrication Stone Trade Central Vermont Career Center. Whoops. I do apologize. It's a little confusing for me with the two different screens. So the first thing we got here.
So it's a little odd starting off with the 3D printer, but when I started as the instructor, I knew nothing about 3D printing, not a lick. So my job was to learn all about that. So what I did is I designed my own monument through the, what this is a Prusa 3D printer, and through the Prusa slicer, I went through and just trial by error, learned how to use it and create my own monument.
Your own monument?
Yes. So it would have taken me quite a while to create it in clay, take that clay, cast it in plaster, and go through the whole process. With this, it's a computer program. You go through certain steps, set it up, make sure that it's able to print on your plate. It's within the proper size of the print area. And you can print just about anything. And you can scale it too. You can make it smaller, you can make it bigger, you can split it up into different pieces and assemble it. So size is really not an issue.
Well, yeah, I mean, so this is a pretty fancy. I've seen 3D printers. This looks like a pretty fancy 3D printer. Am I correct on that?
It's the printers inside, and then there's an enclosure. So the enclosure just keeps the humidity down and debris out of the 3D printer once it's printing. So it's just a protective case.
So it's okay.
Yep. So the box itself is not necessary to create 3D prints.
But you certainly like to keep it. So
yes,
that
it's advantageous to have it contained.
Yeah. Because how long do the normal 3D prints take to do?
All depends on the size. We've created small CVCC medallions that take 15 minutes. I've done prints that are 16 hours. So it's all dependent on the size and the complexity.
Nice. So we'll move on to, whoops, I'm so used to pressing transition. So this is what the design platform looks like.
Yes.
So what's this? This is something that you're teaching to these kids, right?
Yes. So you can. There's all sorts of sources from the internet that you can pull and take objects, manipulate. You can make your own with different shapes. It's a limitless way of creating.
Now, what's the file name? It's like an SQL, or is that I don't know what the term is for the file name that it's called. So you can create my little Dungeons and Dragons figurines with this. Is that correct?
Sure, I could. Absolutely. There's if you have a digital image, sure, we can do that.
So I mean, this is pretty cool. I mean, kids that may not want to, make something out of clay, are very tech savvy, could do something like this.
Sure, and all it is it's your laptop computer with a SD card. You take that SD card with your image that you created, plug it into the printer, and it just goes forward and prints out what you've designed. There's a code called G code, and the program itself lays out that G code. You used to have to go in line by line and create that code, but it does it for you. So you're just manipulating the objects, designing whatever you want, and then save it to that SD card and plug it in and print.
Nice. And we'll show the finished product of this, the design, and now this is the finished product. Do you have any of these that are available to take a look at?
Not on me. I should have. That's something.
Well, we're talking about the columns.
No, I don't. Actually, there are a couple on my desk.
Oh, there were.
Yes,
Oh,
those
I thought
were.
they were all taken away.
They were.
Confiscated?
They disappeared. Is probably a better terminology for it. No, I had those way before the others disappeared. And what you're looking at is called PLA. It's basically a corn-based material, so it's biodegradable. You can make food-safe utensils with it, containers.
Oh.
Yeah, so it's a pretty decent, stable product.
I mean, it looks really cool. I can't do any of that stuff.
Sure, you could.
Well, you'll have to show me how to do it.
Yeah,
since
and then
you're-
you can make your own.
Yeah. And this is just another example of a little 3D printed item. This is a Ferrari.
Oh, it's a McLaren.
That's a McLaren.
Yeah. So if you see, like in the back wing, there are pieces hanging down from it, and on the side, it almost looks like the plastic is dripping. What that is stabilizers built into it as it's printing up. So what it does is it prints layer by layer, and it knows that once it gets to the mirrors are sticking out. So you can't set the filament in an open space. So it has to build up that foundation so it can rest on it. And the way it's done, they're easily broken off. So you're just kind of plucking those pieces off. And the back, same with the back wing. There's the stabilizer, the center pieces get all plucked away, and you're left with the car itself. The funny thing is with that car, all the interior pieces are inside, so the engine, the seat, the steering wheel, everything is printed in there. You just can't see it because it was done with one filament. Yeah, it was kind of interesting to see it printed out in the different stages. You could see the engine being built, the seats being built.
Really?
Yes, but it's all buried inside.
Ah, well, that's pretty cool. And how much does it cost to print one of those type of things? About?
Under a couple dollars,
Under
a
a
few
couple
cents,
dollars.
depending on the size.
Maybe we can print some 3D houses.
Well, they do. There's a company that does print 3D houses with concrete. It's just a massive, upscaled 3D printer.
So the education that you get from this, because I mean, if it's the same type of thing, I mean,
Absolutely. You'll see a slide later on of the crane that we have in the Granite Museum. Basically the same thing, X, Y, and Z axis. All you need is the equipment that spits out the material, and that could be your 3D printer.
nice. Nice. And this big machine, I'll let you explain it because I don't understand it.
So this is our wood CNC machine. Basically, it's similar to 3D printing, where the 3D printer, you're adding things. With the CNC, you're taking material away. So same process, you create a program. The machine takes that program and takes the wood away, and you're left with your finished product.
So the printer, the filament one, the 3D printer creates it from nothing, and this one subtracts to get.
Yes, so it's called additive. The 3D printer is an additive process, and the CNC is a reductive.
Huh. Interesting. And then, of course, we got another picture of it. There was a tube on there, and so you explained that the tube actually it has like how much suction power?
There's about 200 pounds of suction that will hold that piece of wood down. There are tremendous forces when that spindle's going through and digging out the material.
Nifty.
If you look off to the left from the plate, there's a gap. That's where the fourth axis is. So you can, It's on a spindle, so you can turn porch rails, table legs, chair legs.
Oh.
Yes, so the tabletop right there is just your standard CNC portion of it, and then once you move over to the side, you can spin and carve whatever you want on there.
And how much did that thing cost?
I believe it was about $35,000.
$35,000. So a kid that's coming into your program will be able to use a machinery that's like $30,000.
Yeah.
You don't generally. That's not something that just, I mean, I don't remember using anything that was $35,000 as a kid. I think it was Mr. Sador's class. Was it Sador? No.
No, Sador was Santine.
Santine. Yes. Yes.
Well, if you're going into an industry, they want you to have, their preferred is experience, and the only way you get experience is to use use those tools.
All right. And then, of course, we start getting into some really, really big equipment. So this you showed me was the, well, it looks like just a big old, big box that, but when you open the doors, it's like, like the little church, you open the doors and see all the little people. Not working for you.
There are not too many people in there.
You what?
There's no one in there.
I don't know. I mean, I see the mask. So what's this?
So this is where sandblasting is done. What you see resting on the rollers is the face shield and the equipment to protect you from the abrasives. The stone is rolled in. The equipment is there to create any type of sandblasting. What we do is we have people from the industry come in, talk to the students, show the students how it's done, what the process is on laying out the rubber, removing certain sections of rubber, and then blasting out that stone, adding the rubber back in, and doing more sandblasting. So throughout the year, different people will come in, talk about their trades in the industry and what they do.
Nice. It's a very small space, though. I will say that as a guy of substantial girth.
Well, it's just the, in relation to the size of the space we have.
Yeah.
The manufacturers have places like that are 5 times as big.
Heather Slayton says that Cohen completed this program the first year it came back. He strongly encourages students to apply. I don't know if you know Cohen.
I don't. It was before I became the instructor. But thank you.
Yeah, no, I mean that's pretty cool. So you mentioned laying down is that to prevent it from the sandblasting to hit the
yes,
rock?
it ricochets off and doesn't penetrate the stone. So whatever stone's exposed, the abrasives cut through it.
Nice. And then, of course, you have the smaller version.
Yeah, this is just a small cabinet. Different type of material goes into it. You're basically just removing any polish off of the stones, the little stone tiles that are available to create a design.
Nice. What's this?
So this is a clay model done by one of my former students. Started out as John Wayne, but evolved into one of the students in the future. So this is an older version of one of my other students created by a student.
That's pretty talented. Like,
yes.
I know I couldn't do something like that.
Well, that's where the issue is. You don't think you can, but these students never had the opportunity to use clay. This is their first year at using these materials, and they're phenomenal. They came out incredibly skilled, and some of them actually volunteered at the Granite Museum doing carving demonstrations.
I wouldn't be able to do that.
You would. You can.
And there's some more of the clay sculptures.
These were done by the current exploratory students. They came down in groups of 5. We worked on clay models, and then they took those models and carved soapstone pieces that they took home with them.
Nice. And do you fire these?
No, it's a oil-based clay, so it doesn't dry up. It does get hard when the temperature decreases. So room temperature, they'll get harder. It takes kneading and your body heat to get them soft. What we usually do is stick it in a bucket with kind of like a heating blanket to get them heated up so they're easy to form and shape.
Yeah, working with clay is not fun. It can be like constantly, yeah. Again, a little out of my wheelbase.
It's not.
Although
It's not.
I have made a what's the little fat snowman from or not Up?
Frosty the Snowman?
No, not the Frosty Snowman. The little fat snowman from Elsa and come on now, somebody help me out. Somebody, do you know what I'm talking about? The little
I know who you're talking about, but the name escapes me as well. I don't.
Somebody posted in the comments. I've made one of those snowmen before. I'll give it to you.
It's in the clay?
It is in clay.
Looking forward to it.
I'll have to show you. I'll give it to you. Do you want to snow? What the hell is his name?
I don't know.
That's really bad. That's terrible. Anyway, moving on to the other. And that rose is really beautiful.
Yeah, there's talent everywhere. It doesn't matter what you think you can do. Once you're there, it just comes. It flows. You figure it out.
Yeah. The snake is pretty awesome as well. You can't really see it, and Mary says Olaf. Yes, Olaf. Let me tell you, I'll have to. Yeah. Yeah. You can't see the details as well in these pictures, folks. It's pretty awesome to look at them while you're there. And then we've got some more here, and I noticed there was a little pineapple there. Were they trying to channel? Oh, lives under a pineapple under the sea.
SpongeBob SquarePants.
Was
Yes,
he?
yes.
He was.
Yep.
All right, or she. I don't know. That's pretty cool. Trying to channel the SpongeBob SquarePants. What's the thing on the right side? On the other side. Oh, whoops. Okay. That's the crane, right?
Excavator.
Excavator.
Yep.
Yes. You can't, like you said, you can't really see it that well in the pictures. I apologize. Saw it on the other one. And what's going on here?
So this is a student who created their piece in clay, casted it in plaster, and is now removing the waste mold. It's what it is a dog, and we had some brown ink. So we poured the ink into the plaster, which created a brown plaster, and it worked out really well.
Nice. So the mold. So explain the process. Can you?
So when you have your clay model, you pour plaster over that to create what is called a waste mold. And then you separate that mold, you take out the clay, reassemble the mold, and then pour plaster back in it. Usually the plaster, we set up the plaster so that it's a different color so that you know where the waste mold ends and your piece begins. So that's why we use the brown ink, so we know the separation.
So now he's
He's just chipping away the waste mold.
the waste mold. Okay. Okay. Cool. And now we get into the fire area.
Sure, we can call it the fire area or the coal-fired forge.
So the forge idea.
The Granite Museum has a cold fire forge, which was donated to them. We use it in a few lessons to create our own tools. So they'll take a blank piece of steel, hammer out the blade, create a twist so that it's easier to hold, and then we'll sharpen the blade, and they'll use it on the limestone that we have available.
Nice. And here's some close-ups of the tools.
And once we go through the process of safety, how to properly start and maintain the forge, they have access to this. So once they've demonstrated that they can safely operate it, use the tools, they can come back to this and create different projects.
Nice. And here's pictures of someone using it and safety. You've
Yes.
got the
Gloves,
gloves and
proper
glasses.
gloves and eyewear. And these are 3 coat hooks that a student created. It went into a piece that we auctioned off at the Career Center.
Oh, nice.
This is our shop space. This is where all the stone carving is done. We have it set up with the air collection devices, air compressors. The sandblast equipment is tucked into the far corner directly across from the pieces that are hanging on the wall.
Way in the back there. And someone's asking, is this the same as blacksmithing? The previous the previous portion with the cold
Yes.
forge.
Yes, so we'll go through the process of blacksmithing.
Nice. And now we're looking at some of the tools that are used.
Yeah, these are the pneumatic tools that we'll use. So it's pretty much laid out what we would have for chisels and die grinders. We will start out with hand tools first to get the ability to hold the tool properly, and then we'll work our way into pneumatics. So hammer and chisels is what the students will start out with in limestone and marble. They can use the pneumatics for limestone and marble, and then eventually in granite, it's pretty much all pneumatics.
And some pictures of the students using them.
This student right here is taking a model and duplicating it. It's a trout. So there's many different plaster models that reside in the Granite Museum. We have access to all of them, and students can take those and duplicate them.
Nice.
This student is working on a Madonna, just laying out the initial process of creating the niche, which is the space behind, and then just laying out the proper depth of the, so what we're doing is we're kind of taking the front of the stone and working our way back. Another shot of the shop area, and up at the top you'll see the crane. So that's what I was talking about. If you just imagine that shrunk down into a little black box, that's kind of what your 3D printer would be. It runs along a rail, moves up and down. That is a 7-ton crane. Capacity is more than what we need to move stone around in that shop area.
So the kids learn how to use that?
No,
Oh, okay.
they cannot. You have to be 18 to be certified on
okay.
that.
Okay.
So more often than not, a student will not be 18.
Right.
And if they are, there's a certification that they can get to run that.
Nice.
These are the soapstone carvings that were done, a collection of them, the ones that were left behind. So they're just displayed in the classroom area. Etchings, like I said earlier, we will have someone come in from the industry, talk about what they do. We had Prudy Burns come in and talk about her time in the industry etching. The students would just take a piece, start etching. They could take anything from the internet, manipulate it. As you can see, is there a fish? Is that the fish scene?
There's a fish in there.
Fish scene and Arnold Schwarzenegger with a bag over his head. So very creative. This they're the remnants of our gallery space. So we have the shop area, we have a classroom space, a computer lab, and also a gallery. So as pieces are completed, they'll go into the gallery. At the end of the year, students take everything they wish to take, and what's left over gets put into the classroom and displayed.
Nice. So tying this all together, the fish, it was done on that big red machine. Is that correct?
Yes, the same with the pinball machine underneath the thermostat.
Okay. And this one probably as well?
That is not created by a student. That is the test that was done prior to the machine arriving, so that they run through a series of tests to make sure that the CNC is operational for us.
Okay. And of course, for folks that we talked about the cold fire forge. Sounds like an oxymoron.
Coal?
Coal. Oh,
Not
coal.
Not cold. It's not like cold fusion. It's coal. Yeah, so
I'm
so
sorry.
there are two
Yes.
different versions
Okay.
of a forge. There's a propane fire forge, and then there's a coal fire forge.
Fire forge. Sorry. I get a feeling, I'm sure there's a game that I've played that was the cold fire forge. I'm just going to say that, and no one's going to double check me on that. So regarding that coal fire forge, this tool right here was made by one of the students, correct?
Yes.
Yep. And the same thing for all these other tools that are here.
Yes.
Nice.
Some examples of plaster. The guitars made of plaster. The etchings are all done by one student, very talented. The statue that looks like it's from Easter Island is limestone. And the Darth Vader was done on the CNC machine.
Nice. And they did that using the tools that they created? Some of them?
Not the tools that they created only have a certain lifespan to them. They're
Okay.
not like hardened steel tools.
Okay.
So the industry tools are hardened steel with a
Right.
carbide insert. So it's the carbide's tougher than steel, is able to last longer, and sharpens really well. So the the tools that they create will cut for a little while. You can sharpen them, but then
So for any kids that are watching, interested in this program, it's like the wood version on of a hammer on Minecraft. Is that correct? They work, but they don't work as long as the ones that are hardened. Correct?
I will take your word on that.
That's great. That's great, though. And then we've got the Studio Place Arts.
So I worked with Sue Higbee to have the students get exposure to what it'd be like to go into a gallery, talk with the director of a gallery, and have a piece put in for public viewing. And so what was going on at the time, Sue Higbee was taking the bricks from her foundation that were being removed as part of the flood remediation. They were strengthening the foundation, and all the older brick was being taken out. So Sue decided to use it as a fundraiser, and we came in with some other students from the area and took a brick and created different items.
Nice.
This right here is a brick and some granite combined with resin. This is our three-legged fox. What does it say?
1970 Ford Mustang.
Yes, so it's the Ford Mustang. That
Sally. 1970 Ford Mustang. It's not a convertible though.
No, it'd be tough to do a convertible.
Well, it just doesn't have a roof.
Yeah, but the windshield's very difficult to do just as a little piece.
Yeah, that's.
The brick was.
Did they have a 1970s?
They had convertibles. I don't know.
'Cause it's a fastback.
There are several options. I don't know. So this was probably the hardest thing for the students to do. The brick had different impurities in it, so it was really different from limestone, marble, and granite. They had to work really hard to get around those impurities and come out with something that they felt comfortable with. So we went through a few bricks getting to that. Hence the three-legged fox.
So with the impurities, as you're working on it, I assume it would be brittle. Is that it? Just
Yes. So I really don't know the brick making process, but these bricks were from the 1800s. So you had pieces of brick that had been fired, mixed in with the new brick that was being formed and then fired again, metals. So it was a learning experience for them, trying to figure out how to get through it and adjust. And that's the whole process. Whatever you're carving, there are things that are going to break, and you need to adjust and kind of step back, reassess, and continue.
nice. What is this?
I did read the description.
Brick head Abram?
Yes. So a creation, from the student's mind. This is what it's all
pretty
about.
phenomenal.
This is taking, what you enjoy, what comes to your mind, and making it a reality.
I mean, that's pretty awesome. That's pretty awesome. I could see that hanging in somebody's house. I could definitely see that hanging in somebody's house. I could see this in my belly.
Very tough to digest.
It would be, you'd be surprised what you can digest if you. Is this so? Obviously, it's a hot dog. But what's the yellow?
It's a piece of wire.
It is a piece of wire.
Yep, and
Okay.
the bun is a piece of limestone.
Nice.
It's what we call a mixed media.
Mixed media, different types of rocks, and this is the showcase. And
And this is the group outside of Spa.
nice. That's pretty awesome. So, I mean, Raylene makes the comment, it's an amazing opportunity for students and an incredible asset. And it truly is. I don't know what the going rate is. Do you know what the going rate for stone trades is?
For a sculptor in the industry,
Yeah.
it ranges depending on your ability, what you can turn out in the span of a year. You can easily go from $50,000 up over $150,000.
Yeah. I mean, that's pretty awesome.
And
I mean,
it's not just being a sculptor. It's taking those pieces of like 3D printing, CNC manufacturing. Those manufacturing aspects also are needed. You can get a job at Global Foundries, Beta Technologies. They're looking for people who are familiar with CAD programs. In the granite industry as well, there are machines that are coming out that need people to understand CAD. So it's not just, we're not specifically talking about carving stone. It's a broader range now. If those abilities can take you really anywhere you want to go. You can start your own business, and with a CNC machine, you can make $80,000 creating things and selling them.
yeah. It's pretty awesome. I know I have friends that have a 3D printer and they do a business, 3D printing like the little octopuses that move their arms and all that wonderful stuff. And it's just a great opportunity to be an entrepreneur and, to have that information, that knowledge that you can get from this program. And it's recently I went to another career center up north, and I saw one of the machines that they were teaching students on. And then we went to a place and I saw the exact same machine, and it was actually working and doing some phenomenally awesome things. It's these programs that Central Vermont Career Center provides, such as this one. It's very vital to our community and to our children and our future. I think this is great. How if somebody looks at this and says, you know what, I want my kid to get involved in this, what do they do?
So you can go to the Central Vermont Career Center website, click on apply, and it'll take you to what you need to do to fill out information.
And do they have a phone number? I'm trying to pull up that email right now.
I don't remember the phone number offhand, but the application process is done online.
And the phone number, if you have questions though, is 802-476-6237.
Yeah.
All right. And if they want to reach you directly, they would do
Through email. Reach me through email at the Career Center.
all right. Any additional comments you want to make, or?
So when I first started this, it truly blew me away. The ability, I knew nothing about 3D printing and the CNC aspect of it, the manufacturing side of that technology, CAD programs. So it was an incredible learning experience for me, and I really enjoy it.
Nice. And for folks that don't know, Giuliano is a phenomenal artist. You know, you've done several pieces of work that are on display in the city. I'll let you name them off. We've got
So don't get me confused with my father.
I'm not confusing
Okay,
you with
all
your
right.
father,
All right.
sir. But I mean, you did the bike racks.
Yes.
You did the Boy Scout,
Yes.
correct? And help me out here.
There's a few plaques that are on the Barre City Elementary School.
Yeah. And you would design the thing for Hope Cemetery. It hasn't been created yet, but one day it will be.
Oh, the columbarium.
Yes.
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 Yep. And also, it used to be in front of Studio Place Art. It was the chair.
Oh, you created the chair?
Yes.
Oh, nice. I've sat in that chair.
A lot of people have sat in that chair.
Have you ever sat in the Bettini chair?
Yes.
I have too. For those that don't know what the Bettini chair is, it's the chair at Hope Cemetery. She had it, which one?
I don't know the story.
Oh, you don't know? Well, they wanted people to be able to sit down, so there was a chair there. Anyway. Well, sir, I do appreciate you coming in.
Thank you.
Folks, we'll be posting links on the 802 Scoop page for Central Vermont Career Center and how you can learn more about this. And we ask that if you have kids that are interested, you absolutely should tell them, reach out to Mr. Giuliano Cecchinelli.
And I just wanted to mention one more thing. There's a different deadline for design and fabrication, the application process, and that is February 24th.
Oh,
Yes.
so that's like
Next week.
ASAP.
Yeah.
All right. I'll ask Raylene to post that a couple times, and I know she was super excited about this, and yeah, we're really thankful that you're able to come down here, to give us a little bit of insight into what you're doing, and it's pretty awesome, and I hope that it takes off.
Thank you. And hopefully it won't be another 3 years.
Yes, hopefully not another 3 years. All right. Well, Giuliano, thank you for joining us, and want to say thank you to everybody for watching the Barre Beat podcast live, Main Street, Barre, Vermont, here from the Inside Scoop Studios. Have a great evening.